Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is yet another installment of the Married Man Side Heffa Saga. So let me tell y'all what all's been going on. So, just in case I forgot, I think I did tell y'all, but just in case I forgot, the OG married dude's cousin was in jail. And I don't know if she was in jail for the 2 weeks that she went there, but that's where she was. But when she did come back, she would speak to me every day as if that whole debacle didn't happen like 3, 4 weeks ago. So I'm like, oh, because I was waiting. As soon as I saw her, I was like, it look like it's her. I was waiting to see if she gonna say something to me, and I was gonna politely let her know. Wasn't nobody gathered around nothing talking about you. You're not important enough. Like there are more important things, and there are hilarious things to discuss than you. And I get my entire life when I work with certain people and we talk about things that make me laugh or that are going to be uplifting, or we're just talking about work in general. Ain't nobody talking about you because ain't nobody studying you. I legit, like, in all seriousness, I really do forget that she is one of the people that works there until I see her on Fridays. And I'm like, oh, she do work here. Like, I really don't even think of her at all when it comes to, oh, if somebody gonna take my spot, like, or who's at the top of the rotation list, because she can't even be on the rotation list because she's part-time. So again, like I said, nobody even thinks of her. So yeah, y'all, she was in jail. That's what she was them 2 weeks. Because I was just like, did she quit? Like, she came one day, she came back that one day and actually worked for once in her life, and then when you see her no more after that, I was just like, you worked 3 days, man, what's going on? Did you quit? Oh, okay. But anyway, child, tell me why the OG married dude decided like 2, 3 days ago that he was gonna come upstairs. And I'm just like, why are you here? Like, there's literally no reason for you to be up here. And keep in mind, the side heifer, this was her last day off, so she wasn't there at all. She didn't volunteer to come in or none of that. So I was just like, why is he up here? Child, he did all this to walk past to watch me. Cause I was just like, why? Then he went back and went. It's one of the ways that you can come in and leave out. It's closest to where he works, the area of the building that he works. It's more convenient for him to go out that way. And coincidentally enough, that's the side that I was working on. So I'm like, if you don't go somewhere, like, I want to read him, like, please go somewhere, stay in your department. And it's already bad enough that where he works, like, depending on where I am, he can see me on camera, even though he's supposed to be focused on other things. He's not security or nothing like that. Like, it ain't nothing like that. It's just the area that he works in. He has to keep an eye on certain things in conjunction with the other stuff he has to do. It's like I said, I think you have to be amazing at math to do what he does. And I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. It ain't me. So yeah, he did the most that day. Y'all, then later on, old boy passed me while I was doing the preparatory things you gotta do to make sure that, you know, the all that stuff is what it needs to be. So I was in the middle of, I'll like, they have a full length mirror now. And so I just so happened to be looking in that mirror, and I very rarely even look in a mirror when it pertains to just be like, oh, let me check myself out. So I was actually looking in the mirror. Tell me why this man walked by, he was doing just like this, staring at butt cheeks. And I'm just like, sir, if you go get somewhere, like, when that heifer is there, like, he be trying to make sure he on his P's and Q's as if there is somebody that she knows is watching the cameras and will report back to her and be like, oh, well, he was looking at that heifer. He was looking at her butt cheeks. Like, you would think that that's what's going on. Like, he will be like straight ahead. Don't say nothing to me. Don't even look my way or make it apparent that he's looking at me. Like, he did the most that day. So I'm like, here you go with this. Here you go with this. You ain't supposed to be ever since you started back screwing this heifer. But you want to look at and glance at butt cheeks when the heifer ain't here. Child, get you some life. Get a life. Please get a life. I can't. So, oh my gosh. Who else? So the other married guy who basically, in the last video that I put up, somebody said that I seem like I'm falling for him and all this other stuff. And I get that. I understand. Like he legit is a vibe. He is everything, but I'm not trying to develop feelings for somebody who on paper belongs to somebody else. I understand that he is mentally and in every way outside of physically is gone from his wife. And when I say gone physically, they still live in the home that he purchased. But he told me that he's going to be handing her the divorce papers in January. And, I'm just like, look, I done already told him, like, I literally just told him the other day that, yes, I don't know how to really describe it without sounding like I'm contradicting myself or like I'm possibly like in lust or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to say. But anyway, let me just try to say it. So he just has a way with words and the way that he expresses himself to me in regards to me that it's just like, wow, like, why can't I get this from somebody who is already single? Like, he really be setting it off. And it makes me so mad because I just be like, the single people just be like, they will look at me all day. They will, like, some of them will talk to me, but, they'll just stare. And you can tell that they get in their life. And I'm just like, we could have had a conversation. Like, you fine. I don't know nothing about you though. But you will be quick to probably try to go and talk to other people and be like, oh, what's her name? Especially if it's some of the new people. Like, there are quite a few new people, a lot of fine people at my job. But yeah, the single ones, they Then I just got confirmation that somebody who I think is so fine, like, I'm just like, child, you are fine for no reason. Just got my confirmation literally yesterday that this man lived for me. Child, I'll get into that a little bit later on. But anyway, so with the married dude that does the exact job that I do, and right now we work in the same department, he is, I think officially, finally, he is going to be going to the other shift next week. That's what they said last week. But unless there's a situation that happens, he and I are supposed to work together when we both come back in on Friday and work together Friday and Saturday. My partner, he is going to be at the bottom of the rotation list because he went out. This is the same person who he left. See, he planned his trip, his family, everything planned. It was just perfect for him. So he was at the top of the list starting Sunday. He was gone Sunday. So the whole week is Sunday. He wasn't there. Monday, he wasn't there. He already is off on Tuesday, already off Wednesday. So Thursday, he comes back in. And he's going to be at the bottom of the list. I don't know how, but somehow he's going to be at the bottom of the list the way that they had it. It's supposed to last until Saturday, but they have him at the bottom of the list. So, yeah. Anyway, he lucked up. Let's just say he lucked up because most of the rest of us, when we're at the top of the rotation list, they try us and they be want us to come in early, stay over, ignorant stuff that don't nobody want to do. They got us staying over and coming in early to do. And it's like, child, y'all need to hire people specifically to do this foolishness. Because no, like when I tell y'all, they be making me want to give up on life because of the stuff they want us to do. And I understand. I just hate it. Like, I hate it. It's not like it's hard. It's just like, no. But anyway, so we're supposed to work together Friday and Saturday. Don't remember again if in the last video I told y'all that we talked and he said that he believes that the reason why he and I have not worked together in months is because the side Heffa will go and talk to the people who make the schedule and will make it so. I know for a fact that she texts one of them very regularly and all of that. But outside of that, I don't know. It's just stupid because it's like, why is it that he can never be in the department working with me unless I am at the bottom of the rotation list? Like the only time he gets to work with me is if everybody else is just not there and that works in my department. So I'm just like, that don't make no sense. I don't know. Like, even before all this stuff started going down and before the side heifer started realizing that we have great chemistry, like just naturally anyway, I was just like, child, she was hating in. She really was. But anyway, so he was talking to me. His son has been, he had a fever and it just broke finally. So he's very happy. We didn't talk that much yesterday because he was far off in another department. And then when we did talk, if nothing else, he is going to ask me if I'm okay. Like, how are you doing? How's work going? And I like that because it's like a lot of people, they don't be wanting to say none of that. It's like, child, do you know if I'm going through or not? Like, check and see if I'm going through. So he will check and see if I'm going through it if he don't do nothing else every day. So he did that. And you could tell that he was very concerned about his son. So he said his fever still hadn't broken. At that time, the fever still hadn't broke. And so I told him, well, I hope it breaks soon because I could tell that you're not where you normally are energy wise. And I told him that it must be hard to have a sick child. For me, I know that when I was growing up, the very few instances where I would be sick, it would worry my parents to death because I've very rarely been sick in my entire life. Like, I don't like doctors, hospitals, none of that. And I ain't never been here for nobody coughing and sneezing around me. I will politely go and grab a bottle of whatever and spray you and the surfaces and the air where you were just at. I don't care. I don't care if it was an allergy. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you had some salt or some pepper that was in the air and you smelled it and then you sneezed from that. I'm still spraying you in the area that's just how I've always been, y'all. So before all of this, before 2020 happened, I've always been like that. So it is what it is. So I can only imagine how he was feeling, but he talked to me last night and I said, well, how you doing? How your son doing or whatever? He was like, oh, he's doing better. The fever broke. I said, that's good. And he was like, I am so happy. And I was like, I can tell. Like, his whole demeanor changed. And I'm glad that he is here for his child. And like I told him before, I told him like early, like maybe Friday or Saturday of last week, I told him, no matter what our situation ever becomes, you need to make sure you always put your child first. And I am very well aware that I would not be first if I were to ever be in any type of situation with him or somebody who has a child that's that young. His son is 4. So, and he's a very present father. So I'm just like, I'm not going to ever try to sit up here and make it seem like, oh, well, I want you to choose me over your child and all this other stuff. There are some heifers that really are out here like that. I ain't got time for it. I straight up told him, make sure that you tend to your responsibilities. As long as you do that, you good in my book. He was like, oh, I'm always doing. I always make sure my son's straight. I said, okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Real fathers, real men. Like, my daddy was everything. And I live for a man who really is about their kids. Do what you're supposed to do. So anyway, he just made it plain again that he really likes me and all that. And I told him, look, if anything was to ever go down, you are still going to have to present to me a divorce decree. If you say you're going to get this divorce, prove it. Prove it. And I told him, realistically, nothing is guaranteed. You can literally go get this divorce and all this stuff pop off like the way you said it's going to go. And I still might have no dealings with you outside of what we doing now, which was, hey, how you doing? How work doing? We laughing and joking about stuff. It is what it is. In his mind, he would love to be in a relationship with me. And I told him, know about all that. And And I keep trying to tell him that I am very broken. I'm realistic. Like, I'm not finna beat around the bush. I know that I am broken. I know that I have not fully healed. And I don't know if I am ever going to be willing to be in a committed relationship with somebody ever again, because every time I put myself out there, I get tried worse and worse. And with this last situation, I knew that it was completely different and on a whole nother level of hurt when I didn't even cry. When the relationship ended, I didn't even cry. I didn't even really mourn the end of the relationship. That's how I knew I was like all the way completely checked out. That's really different from me because I get very emotional over things. I will cry at the drop of a dime. And like, if somebody were to tell me, like a complete stranger could tell me about something that's going on with them and it will make me tear up. With that relationship, when it finally ended, a part of me was kind of relieved. And at the same time, I kind of felt defeated because I wanted to continue to prove people wrong because people thought that we weren't going to last. And we were together for, unfortunately, 10 years of my life had been wasted. But lesson learned, it is what it is. So, but yeah, I don't know if I would ever be open to a real relationship ever again. But I straight up told him, I make a point to make it known to him again, over and over again. I don't know if I'm willing to go down that road with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you fine. Like, I told him he's attractive. He already know that. I already told him he looked like my ex. Because I kept trying to put my finger on why he looked so familiar to me. He really looked like one of my exes. So, and then like the way he speaks to me, like, it's just different, but in a good way. I've just got to the point where I can't say I will never do something. Because almost every single time I say, oh, I'd never do that, it'll end up happening. So I don't know. Like I told y'all before in the comments section, because it was like after, what I want to call it, like after the saga. Somebody brought up a point where they felt like they could see that I was falling for him or something like that. I wouldn't say I'm falling for him. Like, I recognize that there obviously is a connection, and it's just the attention to detail, and like, I don't know. And I know that could be just like a honeymoon phase, or like, oh, they're just doing whatever to get your attention. I get all of that. But I don't know. You never know until you try. You never know until you experience it. But and I straight up tell him, like, you could be saying all of this and it's just words. At this point, it really is just words. It is what it is. But I'm never going to put all of my eggs in one basket again. I'm tired. I'm tired of my spirit, y'all. Like, I really am tired. Like, I would rather just be by myself than to go through what I've been through. Like, just, like, I will get emotional as far as possibly, like, going over in my mind all of the stupidity that I went through, continuously proving over and over again myself to somebody who stayed trying me. And it's just like, I'll get emotional and upset enough to get angry, and that will conjure up a tear. But I've never shed tears over the relationship that failed. So yeah, it's just a lot, y'all. I just can't. I don't know what the future could possibly hold for myself and him. But as of right now, we are friends. He is someone who, you know what I'm saying, he just makes an effort every single day to reach out to me to say, hey, how you doing? And 99.999% of the time, it is not about anything inappropriate. It's about work. It's about his son. It's about the divorce. Like, just random things that he feeling, his family. Like, he's been opening up a lot to me lately. And I appreciate that. Like, I like that within any friendship. And my thing is this: if I were to dare venture out into that again, I would need to really be friends with that person that I am with. So my ex did not want to be friends. He just felt like, oh, that's stupid. That don't make no sense. And I said to him, I don't understand why that's stupid to you. Like, it was just a whole lot of stuff that didn't make no sense. Looking back on it now, that had to do with him, but it's just like, child, you were there, you dealt with it. It is what it is. You live and you learn. But yeah, he's a really nice person to me. He's really, really nice. He's very blunt. He does not bite his tongue if something was off or he didn't like something. As it pertained to me, he would tell me, even if it's something that could potentially hurt my feelings. So I appreciate that. So I can tell that the things that he says to me are very real. One thing that's kind of setting off an alarm slightly is that this man has said that I want to make sure I'm quoting it correctly. He said something about how I have already secured a place in his heart. And I'm looking like, what? I don't know about all that. I just think that, and he just keeps saying it's just my personality just really do something for him, and things that I didn't think he would be interested in that I would talk about at random sometime, he would be all the way here for it. And he would bring up certain things that I would never guess that he was into. And I'd be like, wait a minute, I like that now. And I ain't never told him about it. So it's just, I don't know, it's just strange. It's kind of strange right now, so I don't know about that. But y'all, let me tell y'all about a fool. Child, my friend was working there. And before she came there, she was at this other job. But there was this guy that was at the other job that she had to get harassment complaint and all this stuff put against him because he would do the most. They had never been together, never dated, nothing. He saw her, went all the way off, was living for her, and would do the most. And was stalking, doing all kinds of stuff. Well, he ended up coming over to my job like months prior to her months after she left. Because she kept hearing rumors swirling that he was coming. I was like, oh my gosh. So then she ended up getting a job offer somewhere. And she's working there. Cool. Well, she told me about the dude long before this even happened. So then when the rumors came in, she was like, remember that dude I told you about? Child, I was like, he gonna be there? I wanted to know what he looked like because there are people who I would have never thought that they were on that type of time, and they are, and they just don't look it. Well, this is one of the rare occurrences where this man looks exactly like what he is, which is crazy. So I don't know how many of y'all know about Show Enough. What is it? What is the name of that show? The Last Dragon. He looks slightly crazier than him. And like what he be looking like and all of that, that's what he looked like. He legit has his Facebook page open for all the public to see, right? And so my friend, she said, because I was like, well, what's his name? She told me his first name before. And so I was like, well, do you know if he's on Facebook? Like, I really want to know what he looked like before he start, coming around and all this other stuff. Because she told me off rip, he probably is going to become attached to me. I was like, what? What you mean? She was like, you seem like the type of person that he would, probably roll up on. I was like, don't say that. Like, I'm already rebuking that in the name. Like, don't nobody have time. And it's been happening and I'm tired of my spirit. But anyway, he legit looked like Show Enough. And I'm tired. I really don't understand. And he crazy. He got like this gash. I think somebody busted him in the face. Like, he crazy. So anyway, he like legit looks crazy. Like, if you could identify deranged and crazy by looking at a person, all you have to do is look at this man. Like, I can't. So anyway, now that he's become familiar with where we work and all this other stuff, he had the audacity to like be training somebody. Keep in mind the dude fine that he was training. He bringing him up in there, so he had to pass by me, and I was far away at the time. So by the time he came back out from where he had to show the dude where something was at, he waved at me, and it's like, I try not to be rude. I at least wave, and I just barely have any eye contact. Like, hey, I'm going about my business. He over here trying to explain things about my department. I'm like, sir, why? Why? Like, he really was trying to show off. This is what he was trying to do. And like, he has these moments where he'll just be leaving his break and he'll cross my path. I be hating it because like where he catch me at, it ain't where, oh, I see him, let me duck off. There have been times when he was getting ready to speak, I would duck off because I was lucky that day. Lately, I ain't been so lucky. So he be trying to have conversations with me like this man is crazy. And I ended up telling my friend who trained me about him. He was like, yeah, we had a meeting about him. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, what you mean? He was like, yeah, we were alerted to that. Like before he even really started working. I'm like, why would y'all hire him and y'all know he a fool? I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm just like, child. He had a whole meeting about this man. So anyway, he sets it off every chance he get. And I'm just like, child, I will pepper spray him if I need to. Like, I don't have time. And I bring it in there. I've been waiting to see. I be waiting to see if they're going to say something to me at work. They don't say nothing. I'm like, yeah, don't say nothing to me because people are crazy everywhere. So I be bringing it in. Get me. So, yeah, he be setting it off. Y'all, wait a minute. Let me tell y'all what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened yesterday. Okay, so I done told y'all about this tall chocolate bald bearded man with a gap. It's the gap for me, like for real. Okay, so keep in mind where he worked is downstairs. The shift had just started. He decided he gonna come upstairs to ask me if I had a pen for him to borrow. Sir, all the people you just passed by, when I tell y'all it's over 50 people he done passed by and decided he was gonna come upstairs and ask me, sir, I see what you're doing. And I'm a little bit here for it. But okay, but you have to understand he's one of those people where I don't think he would really have to get some gangster from out of nowhere to approach somebody to be like, hey, I like you and whatever. For me to be older than him, because he's already made that painfully obvious that he's not here for older women, not typically. I must not fit the criteria because he be setting it off when he see me. Child, every time I looked up when he would make his rounds, that boy was all in my face, looking. I'm like, child, please don't run into walls. He is so fine. It don't even make no sense. Then, like I was telling y'all earlier, it's this other dude I just found out yesterday. He lived for me. It's like I kind of knew, but I be needing my confirmation. I'm like, I feel it. I know it. Got my confirmation yesterday. I can't. Oh my gosh, this man is so fine. He is so tall. If y'all saw him, y'all be like, wait a minute, where did they find these people at? Like, these people really are fine. I'm trying to figure out where they came from myself. But anyway, he done set it off. Every time I ask him to do something, if it's within his power, he do it with the quickness. He snapped right on to it, and I'm here for it. But yesterday I got my confirmation. Okay, so the people that are working on a level below me, they kept doing random stuff. I already submitted paperwork to this man for stuff I needed and all this other stuff. Man, I had to go to this man like 3, 4, 5 different times. And he had to like pull stuff out of his behind just to get it done for me. I'm like, man, I thanked him so many times. Like, I was like, child, he came up there. That man shouldn't have to keep coming up and down them steps to say nothing to me about nothing. He's supposed to come up there that one time, get my paper that I already did, my paperwork, and go on by his business for the day. But no, this man had to come up there I don't know how many times. So the last time he came up there, I asked him again for something else that I shouldn't have had to ask him for. That ain't even on the paper that I'm supposed to get approval for. I'm supposed to get my supervisor's signature for, and he did it for me anyway. I'm like, you better do that. And child, we be having these moments and I be like, it's gotta stop. Y'all don't understand how fine he is. But anyway, y'all. I think that's about it. But yeah, I feel like it's about to be a repeat of what was happening initially with the OG married dude, where he'll have his moments where he'll speak to me when the Heffa ain't around, and then he act mute when she is. But whatever. I'm glad because I ain't here for him anyway. Anyway, I will keep y'all updated. I'm about to go eat. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.